Hi guys, I hope everyone's doing well. This is your lecture for April 6th through 9th. This week is supposed to be really nice and sunny and warm outside. So don't forget to, spend a little bit of time outside, maybe take your dog for a walk, or go just, if you don't have a pet, just go for a walk by yourself. But make sure you guys are still using social distancing and staying safe. So we are going to continue to work on our research projects here. And so this week I'm going to teach you about an abstract. So our first thing is, what is an abstract? So your abstract is your brief summary of your experiment. So it's going to describe your purpose, your methods, your results, and your conclusions. And it's going to be short and sweet. It should be no longer than a page and in paragraph form. Because this is the first page of the project or the report that people are going to read or that you're going to present to someone. And it's where your readers are going to form an opinion about your study. So there's 4 parts to the abstract. You have your purpose, your procedure, your results, and your conclusion. And each of those 4 things make up the abstract as a whole. Again, this is important because we need to be able to tell other people about our research. So depending on what you're researching, you want to be able to tell the people that it matters to why or what you found and why it's important. So we need to learn how to write an abstract. So the first thing is your purpose. So on Monday, I just want you to read this slide about an abstract, and I want you to kind of just be thinking about these 4 points in relation to your bread experiment. On Tuesday, I want you to look at this slide about the purpose. So our first paragraph in our abstract is going to be explaining the purpose of why did we conduct this research. So I put an example in here of the chickens that we used last week. So our thesis was, if I feed 250 chickens a 20% higher protein feed, then they will yield a higher percent of meat at butchering when compared to the 250 chickens being fed a 15% lower feed. So I need to tell someone, why was this information important? Why did I feel like I needed to study it? And so I wrote out the purpose. So the purpose of this experiment was to look for the difference in pounds of meat yielded from chickens based on the protein levels of the feed being provided during the chicken's growth period. So, and this is also important because as a producer, like if you are producing chickens and you are selling them based on their weight, you definitely want to be able to spend the most or the least amount of money to create the highest amount of weight per chicken at butchering time, because that's how you're going to make a profit. So on Tuesday, I want you guys to come in here and I want you to write 1 to 2 sentences that describe the purpose of the bread experiment that we've been doing. So please make sure you use correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, all of that. And it's really short, a couple sentences. Tell me why we're doing it. Then on Wednesday, I want you to talk about the procedure. So this is going to tell your reader how you set up the experiment and how you made sure the data is accurate and not flawed. So here I wrote out our procedure for the chickens. So to conduct this test, we set up a control group that had 250 chicks who were fed a standard 15% protein feed. The experimental group had 250 chicks that were fed a 20% high protein feed. Both groups were housed in the same environment, fed the same amount of and brand of feed, as well as having unlimited access to clean, fresh water. So those were the things that we controlled here at the end to make sure that our data was correct. And then lastly, so you're going to do a procedure. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to write a couple sentences on Wednesday. And then lastly, on Thursday, I'm going to give you a day to catch up. So as you've noticed, we've been building each week, builds on the last week. So if you happen to be behind, I want you to use Thursday to get caught up. And then the following